Monday Night Chat with Wong Chen.
Brought to you by the Member of Parliament for Subang.
Hi, welcome to Monday Night Chat episode 57. We're shooting from my personal house office. We had a long meeting with Dr. Sri Anwar on policy issues. So it's a Friday, we're shooting now. We're going to do the This Week in Parliament, followed by Q&A in 120 seconds. Okay, we had a really busy week for Parliament. We had a really quiet day on Tuesday, but this is the strange thing about Parliament. And also apparently my speech on the budget 2020 has gone viral. So let's deal with the This Week in Parliament. Monday was extremely busy. I started the day with a BFM interview. I dropped my wife at the central station. We were this couple that, we don't drive each other all the way to KLIA, it's just too far. So I dropped at Central at about 6:30. Then I went to BFM, had a long chat with Raja Rasya, the distinguished professor of economics. And then we both went on stage at about 8 until 9. So the BFM interview, you can listen to it, right? Then I rushed to Parliament, went to meet the Venezuelan ambassador. She wants to form a friendship group with Malaysian Parliament, so I was asked to at least help her. So, we had an interesting discussion with 5 other MPs. So we shall see whether we can form a friendship group with them or not. Then I met Dr. Radin and Puan Rosita. They're friends of Noor Diana, my former intern. So they're from Canberra. I met them in Canberra when I was in Australian National University last year. So I had a good chat with them. Then I had the Anwar's Reform Caucus lunch, where it was quite a big event. About 50-60 MPs attended, so they gave a briefing about what reforms they want to do. Then I had to rush back to Kamahas. Kamahas is when we ask questions on constituency matter. So I asked about USJ1 clinic. The minister gave his promise that we'll be in the RMK 12, which means it starts 2021. It'll take 4 years to build. Yeah, and then after that, more meetings. So you can imagine Monday was like crazy day. I don't remember having like a breather. It was like one event after another. So Tuesday was a real surprise because Tuesday was a relaxed day. I had a nice chat with David Elder. He was the clerk of the House of Representatives for Australia, extremely senior now, working for UNDP. And my intern Marcus, who's Australian, managed to connect me to David Elder. So we had a good chat about what reforms need to be done, and then of course later on I'll tell you I did meet him again on Thursday morning. But good chat. Then I went back to the hall quickly to do my question on climate change. As most of you know, I wasn't happy with the reply from the Deputy Minister. Until today, I still think they're not really interested in climate change action. Maybe they have other things to do, but for me, and I think for a lot of Malaysians out there, we are worried about climate change. Okay. Then I was like waiting for my time to speak, because we have a waiting system. So and I had to listen to Anwar's speech, and I have to help the team tweak it a bit. So listening to Anwar's speech and then drafting my own speech. That was Tuesday, an easy day by normal standard, by my normal standard. On Wednesday, I had a PAC meeting with the Auditor General right in the morning. That was really good because we dealt with the issue regarding national debt and contingency liability. So many of the questions that I raised 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago when we were in the opposition, finally I got some answer. He's worried, I'm worried, everybody's worried. Okay, so that's a good thing. At least now we're recognizing the problem. And then I had lunch with Tuan Jasni. Tuan Jasni, as you know, there's a video out there, a singing song. I didn't sing very well, but never mind. But Tuan Jasni, I gave him a certificate and we had lunch. So I think we have to recognize these police officers who are very clean, very dedicated. Yeah. Then I had to wait, and then at about 3:40, of course, I gave my speech on the budget for 20 minutes. It has gone a bit viral. For whatever reason, it's got wide coverage by a lot of newspapers, but everybody sort of picks bits and bobs of it. So you get the impression I'm attacking my government. So that's why I urge everybody to actually read my speech and listen to the entire speech and not just read the bits that is sensational, right? There are comments out there, but I always take the view that even as a member of parliament for the government, I have to be constructive. I have to criticize and be constructive, because I feel, and I think a lot of people feel the same, that we've sort of left the idea of reforming the country. I've been talking about reforms for so long. Some days I'm jaded, but we take the opportunity to speak during the budget to at least remind our ministers that we have to do these things. So there are 5-6 points that I raise. Minimum wage is too low, because I'm not a socialist or communist, for God's sake. You must understand, 1,200 that's not possible for anybody to live. Okay, this is a question of basic economics or poor economics. Please study poor economics. You can't have productivity with 1,002. Actually, anything above $3,000, you can link any wages above $3,000. You can link it to productivity for increase. I would argue living wage 2007 and below, you just have to pay them, because when you pay them, it's the other way around. You don't reward for productivity, you pay them, then productivity will increase, because people who earn so little, they need calmness in their life. They need to wake up in the morning ready to work. They can't be in bed thinking, oh my God, well, how am I going to feed my children? That destroys productivity. So wages shouldn't be linked to productivity unless it is above 3,000 ringgit and above. Anything below that is a question of eliminating desperation. Therefore, paying them a fair wage increases productivity. I don't think I want to go through all 6 points, but please reread the thing and watch the video properly. Yeah. Then I had, then of course I had service night, so I had to rush immediately after my speech. Pour me and then jump into the car. I drove, she can't drive, so we went to the office, and then as usual, service night busy. I think we had at least 12, 13 complainants over that period, you know, but we sort of sorted out most of the issues there. And then come Thursday, by coincidence, I was having breakfast with Yuan, my other intern, and then David Elder walks in looking for coffee, so I cornered him and got him to advise us on the formation of International Trade and Foreign Policy Committee. Yeah, so he gave a lot of good notes, and then, you know, Yuan went to collect from him. And then I had Oscar Lau. Oscar Lau is a assistant to the councillor, Ken Chia, for Subang Jaya. I've known him for 18 months now. Very hardworking, very dedicated, attached to YB Michel's office. So he told me that he's leaving. He's got another 2 weeks before he leave. I thought I'd just throw him a lunch in Parliament and introduce him around, right? And then at lunchtime, so I introduced him to Lee Kang. We had lunch, and then we had to go and attend Nurul Izzah's drug use or drug abuse, well, it's more drug rehabilitation program, which was really quite interesting. You know, it's an area that I focus on quite a bit from my human rights work. Yeah, so we had that lunch meeting, and then of course PAC again. Look, this way I already had 2 PAC meetings. You know, we were sitting, I think by 2019 we hit like 50-60 days of PAC. It's taking out a lot of our time, but it's of course a great honor for me to serve in PAC, so I'm always happy to attend PAC meetings. Then halfway through the PAC meeting, you know, we had that embarrassing moment when we didn't have enough quorum. We need 26 to sit in Parliament. So the bell rang, everybody rushed back in, the PAC members, 8 of us rushed down to show the numbers, and then when everything stabilized, we went back to our PAC hearing. So that was really 4 days of Parliament, hectic, a viral video for my speech, a lot of ideas, a lot of commentary written. You won't get the full picture. I support my government, but I do constructively criticize them. And that's it for this week in Parliament. Okay, for Q&A this week, we're not having a third segment because Paul May tells me that I've already spoken 8 minutes on this week in Parliament, so I'll try to keep this a bit short. Q&A is at 120 seconds. There are 5 questions. Let's start now. Okay, first, the LTTE issue. The police have taken action. Of course, the two Aduns have been arrested and put under SOSMA. We cannot allow SOSMA to be used. I think we already raised many times that the maximum detention period for SOSMA should be reduced. I think the first thing the police have to do is probably charge them not under SOSMA, which has no real right to be heard, but charge them under a normal thing and just give them maximum 14 days detention if they want to do further inquiry. So try to do that. I think it's good for the police and for us to at least give some fairness to the process. Number 2, Foreign Minister says that we have to do Navy build-up. I think I agree with him, but generally this kind of thing should be said by the Minister of Defence. I would imagine so. Foreign Ministry should always try to look at diplomatic side. Okay. Number 3, flying car issue. Okay, Prime Minister is correct. You can build something that floats, you can build something that can turn left and right, but you need legislation. I think around the world easily, at least 10 years of regulations got to come in before a flying car is done. So I would ask the Minister for Entrepreneurial Development to relook the matter carefully and make sure you don't spend a single cent of public money in this little program. Number 4, Indian palm oil issue. Of course, the Prime Minister said something about Kashmir, and Indian government has threatened to retaliate. I suppose it's also somewhat related to Zakir Naik issue. We need quick diplomacy, a quick solution to try and resolve this matter, because palm oil is so important to us. We cannot afford to lose this Indian market. And as you know, 2 weeks ago we talked about, the Prime Minister mentioned about Carrie Lam. We were like holding our breath and see whether China is going to overreact on the issue. Yeah, and the fifth issue is what is the fifth issue? What did I write? Okay, sorry for that bit. We forgot. I couldn't read my own handwriting. The fifth issue is really about the quorum. Okay, very simple. There are 55 members, ministers and deputy ministers. The minimum requirement for quorum is about 12%. So I would request the ministers to send 7 deputy ministers or ministers in there all the time, so that they do their 12% bid, so that we got 7 there, we got 19 from the opposition and government. That's fair lah. Yeah, by doing that we will always get the 26% for quorum. But more important than that, to make sure that every parliamentarian actually attend this kind of session, we should have a transparent system that lists down who attend what every day. That should drive MPs' attendance higher. That's it for Q&A this week.